Hey everyone, welcome to Tuck Notes Beginner Thoughts Talk. This is an interview about Elon Musk and Ron Barron, an interview that happened a few days ago. And in this interview, I'm going to talk about some of the things that was highlighted very quickly, and to the best of my ability. And so the first thing that was the most important thing that Elon highlighted was his design and manufacturing of anything. Algorithm. First principle, number one, is make the requirements given less dumb. Whatever requirements we want to make them less dumb, or constraints that we were given, we want to make them less dumb. And if you don't do this or start this, you might get the right answer to the wrong question. This is important. So keep up with the storyline. Elon's tweets, what he says, and delete the part or process step that sounds obvious. I don't understand that part as well, but basically follow what I say on Twitter and you'll be in basically better hands than if you were with someone else, because a lot of people have been giving bad directions. So I've always stuck with Elon as the person on Twitter to get my information from, and it has only helped and educated me, and I encourage you to do that. And so any things, the next thing that was said is what's the goal, Elon? And so at age 51, he wants to lower the cost of access to orbit and to the moon or elsewhere. And, to make where, I'm going to read part of this, where we, humanity, can afford to become a multiplanetary species on the moon. Species, and afford to have a permanent base on the moon. So that's probably going on right now, the construction. That's why the moon's probably so bright. But I could be wrong. That could be something else. But what was humanity's greatest achievement in the 20th century, or maybe ever? This is what a question that was Elon posed to the audience, and that is going to the moon and going to Mars and making that actually happen. We had 14 billion years ago, we had the Big Bang. Our first leg, these are words from Elon, not me, 13.5 billion years ago. 4.5 billion years ago, Earth started. 13.5 billion years ago, the universe was created. And so what do we get back out of this? So two reasons. And it's one, to become a multiplanetary species, or multiplanetary. We want safety. Safety is paramount to everything, and I think a lot of people can agree with that. So, like, the dinosaurs got killed by meteors. Now it's like the people will get killed by, biological warfare or nuclear warfare or whatever. And that scares people. And so the defense line is to some danger that light of consciousness, these are the words of Elon I'm saying right now, is not only one on Earth, but on other planets. So not just on Earth. So having it, that's the first thing. The second thing to get out of this is excitement, adventurous, going to some place you've never been to before, and being able to afford to do it. I mean, I'd love to be able to say I've been to the moon in my lifetime, or if I have kids, I'd love to have them be able to do that if they were interested. But basically, it's exciting to get the thoughts about the thought that, it's not a luxury adventure, like Elon's, these were his words. It's not a luxury adventure. It is a cold, if you're used to living inside a cubicle inside a apartment building for years, then you'll be fine. But if you're used to being outside, you're going to have a little bit of a transition. But there might be incentives to go up there. So I want to wake up in the morning, and I want people to wake up, Elon's words, and feel stoked. These aren't part of it, but feel good, feel happy, be able to go, yes, like he says, yes, like this is going to be a good day. I'm going to be happy, and so, and not bummed out. So, it will make you think more positive. Hopefully it will make us think more positively about the future. And if we don't get to Mars, if you don't want to go to Mars, you can watch people go to Mars. And that's rad. Just like in 1969, watching people go to the moon. We didn't get to go to the moon. We watched people go to the moon. So basically, and then we get into talks about Twitter and things like that. I'm not going to get too involved into that. But basically, the reason that he's charging $8 a fee is so real people can be on there, and that eliminates the bots. So then you know which ones are the bots because they didn't pay. Or maybe, I don't know, you couldn't say that fully because, like, what if someone can't afford it? But I think $8 is something people can afford. Anybody. But yeah, and so that will get the people will be verified. Whatever you say or type will be prioritized to the top of the comments list as opposed to the bottom of the list. And it's like, as he used as an example, Google search, as Elon says, on Google search, on the first page, you'll find the most information. That's the best information. And on the second page, you might find some, all right information. But if you go to the last page, you're going to find where the scammers, the cheaters, and all that bad stuff is. And so that's the analogy to this. And so, he also fired 50%, half of the Twitter, I can't read my writing, but basically the people that were the bad people in Twitter, all the bosses, the employees are happy that Elon is their boss now. And so Elon says he can confidently feel 80% sure that America and the rest of the world will be satisfied with this app, and it will be one of the most valuable apps around, Twitter. And so supply chain, this is getting a little too long now, but supply chain problems, Elon somehow has navigated his way through the supply chain problems, unlike other car makers. And I make 20. The hard problem with supply chains and getting somebody to help you out is that you are a startup company, and you go to some person for supplies, and you go, I just made 20 million cars, from zero, and we're vertically integrated. Basically, I made 20 million cars starting from zero in a really short amount of time, and someone's going to be like, yeah, right, bullshit, I don't believe you, and I'm not going to give you this to help you out. And so that is kind of like what he was up against as a startup company, and other startup companies maybe too. So basically, yeah, scaling constraints change as time goes by. Again, we were vertically integrated. This is in the 2020, and as the auto company startup company suppliers doesn't sound, it doesn't, as an auto startup company supplier, doesn't sound good to the company. All right, that didn't make much sense, and I apologize. And Elon did say that the stock is still overvalued. He thinks it's overvalued, but people are continuing to buy the stock regardless. And, you know, autonomy is a fundamental breakthrough in everything, and this is through Elon's words, not mine. And with the ability, let me read this. The autonomy is insanely a fundamental breakthrough, and no one else is even close to solving generalized autonomy or self-driving. Not even close to Tesla. And with self-driving, the car becomes caught rightly 5 times more useful, but costs the same to build. So if you have a 20 to 35% gross margin, suddenly that same thing becomes 5 times more valuable. What would do that? So think of a net think of the net present value of future cash flows. Do the math, it's insane. Optimus program will change everything. And so I'm going to leave us with, well, I'll leave you with this last other part too. The economy is fundamentally GDP per capita times capita. I'm learning this right now, so just bear with me. And if you no longer have any constraints on capita because of the usefulness of robots, it's not clear there is any size to the economy, and this will happen. Meaning, the economy can go bigger than it's ever gone before. So, also, the supercharging stations will even work. They'll work even during when we have a zombie apocalypse, and we know that's going to happen. And he says we know that's going to happen. It's going to happen. So if you think that we're over and this whole thing's over, it's not. It's just the beginning. So get used to being uncomfortable. I hope you like this video, and pass it. If you like this video, share it to others. Like it, and if you like these videos, you can follow me on Tuck Notes on to YouTube. All right.